enough water. If this is a water slide decal application, and if you don't slide it into water, it will get stuck and then it'll just kind of wrinkle into a little ball. So make sure you have a puddle of water on the figure to slide it into, and you'll be fine. I want to point out the fact that the capes were supplied by a buddy of mine in Australia, Mark Parker. His card's in the little bag. He makes phenomenal cloth products, as you'll see when you guys start using the duster jackets. But we're going to get started with the video and work our way through this. Welcome to Brick Fiesta 2012. Welcome to Houston. Hopefully everybody can kind of see the video. In case you didn't know, I have written a book on this subject called Minifigure Customization. It covers pretty much the entire hobby. You can make all kinds of things with these figures, from clutch powers to superheroes. And since the Avengers just came out, we're showing some of the Avengers here. You can even make Star Wars and G.I. Joe and Doctor Who, and all these things were made pretty much with decal applications like we're going to be doing today. Today we're making gunslingers. So we're in Texas, we've got to make something kind of Texas. Those are all the face and torso designs that are out there. There's a lot of them. So that's what I was saying. The odds that you have the same as your neighbor is slim. We start by drawing these designs on a computer in a template, and then we have to remove the printing that Lego puts on the figure. We do that with brasso. You want to protect your surface, and you don't want to do this on your mother's dining room table. She will lynch you. So put down a plastic bag, put down a cloth to protect your surfaces, and then you're going to take a little brasso. You can use toothpaste if you want to instead of brasso, and put it onto the cloth. And this is all real time so that you really understand how long this process takes. Just a little bit of the paste brasso, spread it onto the cloth, and then you're going to rub the figure onto the cloth. Don't pick the cloth up and try to rub it onto the figure. It's a lot harder that way. Luckily, all this was done for you today, so you don't have to do this, but if you were to repeat this process at home, this would give you the option to repeat it at home. So a little bit of elbow grease, rubbing the part on the cloth. And there's about half the printing gone, and a little bit more brasso, and about 10 more seconds of rubbing, and the part will be nice and shiny. If you have older parts that are scratched up, this will make them shine. If you have clear parts that are scratched up that are no longer clear, this will bring them back to being clear. Brasso is a really helpful thing. If you cut a part and you want to sand it back smooth and give it a really high shine, you can do this with that too. Now you want to remove the brasso. You really want to use soap and water to make sure that you get it really clean. So cover the drain so it doesn't go down the drain and get into the garbage disposal. I didn't do that in the video, so make sure you don't drop parts down the sink. You want to make sure you check all the little groove and connection spots for the shoulders and the hips, because if you leave brasso in there, as you take the figure apart, you'll sand the shoulders, so the arms will get really floppy. The legs won't connect very well, so that's why you got to make sure you get them really clean. And you see I'm using the sink as kind of a jet to blow all that residual brasso out. Now you've got a clean, shiny part. You've got to dry off all the water. And there's lots of embedded little internal structure in Lego parts, so tap it on the table to get the water out of there and dry it up as best you can. And we've gone from a printed Lego part to a completely clean and shiny, brand new looking piece. Now you'll put your figure back together. And this is kind of where we're starting today, but you'll notice most of your figures don't have the arms on, and that's for a specific reason that we'll go through in a minute. So today you have to decide if you're going to have your coat on your figure or you're not going to have your coat on your figure. And when the video's done, I'll go through some of the reasons. But if you want to put your coat on, you're going to fold the collar down and crease it like a piece of paper. And I'm just creasing it with my thumbnail so that I get the collar effect on the coat. And then mine, the arms are already on the figure, so I take the arms off and I line up the hole in the coat, make the hole in the torso, and reattach the arms, and the rest of the figure's wearing a coat. And this is a duster jacket to go along with the theme of gunslingers. So you can see the collar there kind of fold right around with the cloth. the second arm goes in. If you have trouble getting your arms in, you can put the arm down on the table and kind of mash it back in. And if you need help, raise your hand and I'll help you. And then if you were to put the hat on, there's the figure without the decal. And what the coat looks like. The coat should match the arm color so that it looks like it's wearing the coat. Next, we're going to trim out the decals. I've done some rough trimming on your decals. If you want to trim them out further, let me know. I do have some scissors. You're going to dip the decal in the water and you're going to wait 60 seconds. This is the hardest part for people to do. Waiting 60 seconds is really tough, but it's critical. Only after 60 seconds will the decal slip. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to be sharing Q-tips and tweezers with your neighbor. Get one Q-tip really wet and one Q-tip only lightly wet. Your really wet Q-tip is going to help you slide the decal onto the figure. Your drier Q-tip is going to be your sponge. So you see the decal kind of slip there on the backing paper. The backing paper is blue. You're going to then take and just slide it right off using one of the wet Q-tips onto the body. You're going to kind of roughly position it. And then you're going to get your sponge Q-tip, which is pretty dry, and you're going to soak up the extra water. And I'm just rolling the Q-tip across the surface between my index finger and thumb to push the air bubbles out and push the excess water out. Once I kind of get all that done, I reposition the decal where I like it. Sometimes I use my thumb. I'm used to doing it that way. You can use the Q-tip. And you'll see me next just kind of stripe the design with the Q-tip to remove any extra water. Because the decal won't be completely set until all the water is dry. Now I'm putting some water on the face, and I'm now going to transfer the face over onto the head. You see the face slips off the backing too. The arms are up on my figure, so it kind of flops around a little bit here. So keep your arms flat so the figure stays flat, and it's a lot easier. Pull the paper out. Now you've got the face on the head. Position it. And just like before, we're going to roll the Q-tip across the head to remove the extra water. Once we're done with that, you can put the hat on, and your figure's pretty much good to go. Put your gun in his hand, and he's ready to start fighting in the Old West. The kicker here is with the male hair pieces and the male hats, there's no problem for the coats. But on the female hair pieces that loop over onto the back of the torso, they're going to overlap the coat a little bit. And the tolerances on Lego parts are really, really close. So you might scratch the decal if you don't let it dry completely before you put the female hair piece on, which is why I say you've got to decide on the coat and not the coat. So if you have a female hair piece where the hat and the hair is all attached and it goes down way on the back, that one hair piece is the difficult one. Raise your hand, get Chris or I's attention before you try to just put that one on. That might actually cause you some grief. The other thing that we have done is Julie Rogers was nice enough to build us an Old West town. So there's a little Old West town in the photo booth over here. So you can get your gunslinger and your neighbor's gunslinger, bring them over here, and they can have a gunfight at the OK Corral, and you can take pictures so that you can take them home and you can see your gunslingers in action. So if you finish fast and you want to take some pictures, it's already all set up over here with horses and bulls and pigs and dogs and frogs and all kinds of other fun things. So other than that, are there any questions? Did everybody understand what I said? Okay. Well, you can use toothpaste to keep them printing on. I think I also gave everybody 2 face decals. You can choose which face you want to use. Because some people, if you mess up one face, you have an extra. So I would probably start with the face just to get a feel for how it works since you already have an extra one of those. But jump in there, give it a go. If you get stuck, raise your hands. Let me know if I can help. You notice I gave everybody a couple of plastic bags. Generally, you want to put your figure in the plastic bag when you're done because it's going to take about 15 minutes to completely dry. When you get it home, spray it with clear spray paint. You can use nail polish. It's not the greatest, but it'll work. to protect the decal, and then your figure will last quite a while. But you don't want to do a lot of handling of it when it's still wet, so I would do just a quick pose in the set, but I wouldn't try to like do a whole little video or something over there.
If you can't be patient, never learn how to find solutions. It's just